Hello, y'all. What is good? Welcome to another episode of the Pixelated Echoes. This is a surprise episode, as you know, life happens and some sad stuff, some good news. So one thing to announce before we get our show out the way. This is the first episode of Pixelated Echoes where it's like shorts. So we only have like one or two topics. There's not a lot of gaming news out there, but I did want to have a good old conversation with my bud Fuzz here, as we been on a little bit of a hiatus as I've been trying to finish this trailer for an animated show that I've been working on. So it's called Bad Heroes, and the trailer is suited to drop most likely Wednesday. It's finished, but it's there's one voice actor I'm waiting on to give me his final lines, so I could just boop and then upload. So it's right there. It's right across the finish line. Definitely going to show Fuzz, but I'm excited to share that with you guys. There's a bunch of merch I've been designing. There's a lot of stuff when you make a show that you don't think about. Like the branding side. You got when you make a trailer, you're like, oh, you need to cast the voices. You need to have background arts and illustrations and character design, and a lot of stuff goes into a trailer, and I can't wait for you guys to check it out. This is a mouse pad. You guys see this? Ugh. It's like a desktop pad thing that I made. It's one of the characters from the show. It's a little cat. He's shooting a gun. So, just so you guys could get a little tease on what the trailer is gonna show. But I'm really excited to showcase you guys. You guys don't always get to see, you see the gamer me, but you don't see the animation side of me. So super excited about that. Trailer is finished. And what else? Yeah, so yeah, we are going back to our regular schedule. Maybe sometime next week. So stay tuned for that, because the trailer is done. Honestly, that was where most of my attention has been. So yeah, excited to be here. So honestly, a lot of my energy went towards that trailer, so I had to slowly recover. But it's gonna be fun, and I can't wait for everything. Other news. Oh yeah, there I did interview like a month or so ago the writer of these books, called the Shadow Slave books. So good. If you guys like indie books, I've been in this audiobook phase. I don't know if it's I'm getting older or what, but I love audiobooks right now. It's like good to have an audiobook, because I could do it while I'm gaming. You can't read a book while you're walking around the house and stuff. Well, maybe some people can, but I can't. So audiobooks are pretty good. So look out for that. That should drop probably next week as well. So that's gonna be fun content on the channel. We already got some people dropping on in. Web Dave, appreciate you. It's not a Sunday, so he has no show to drop in, but always appreciate Web Dave supporting the show, and it does mean quite a bit. So this is PXE Shorts. There's not going to be a lot of news, but again, I did miss chatting it up with you guys. So we might go a bit more off topic in this episode. Just chill, honestly. So this is going to be a great show. So that is it in news. So glad to be back. Let's get into the introductions. We have my co-hosts with the most. Cannot do the show without this dude who has been super patient with me as I finish up this trailer. Just know if we can't do the show, it's most likely my fault. But I always appreciate Fuzz, the racing guru, the Forza expert, the fuzziest of all the Belvederes. He's the fuzziest one. Fuzzy Belvedere, how you doing today, friend? And what have you been up to?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Glad to be here with you, and just been playing a lot of racing games, a lot of NASCAR 25, which you might be able to see in the corner, in the background and stuff. But kind of living my once fantasy of being a NASCAR driver. Um, Still getting used to some of the setups and everything. For anybody that's played NASCAR racing 2003 back in the day, this is as close as you can get on console to that. It has a wide range of adjustments, so you can ramp up the difficulty on the AI. You can, ramp it down if need be, or you can up your tire wear or your fuel consumption and stuff like that. So you have a lot of variables that you can play around with to make it feel like a full-fledged race. You could do like a 25% race and have the stage breaks and things like that, and make it so the tire wear is a little bit faster. So that way you do like one or two pit stops like you would in a real race kind of thing, and just having a blast with it. So anybody that's a NASCAR fan or remotely watched NASCAR in the past few decades and may have waned off a bit because of the championship changes and stuff, this is definitely a worthwhile game to fall into. And then I kind of fell back into Diablo 4. Um, Been playing a little bit of Division as well because they still are doing updates, which is awesome that that game is old as it is. The what I would call the original extraction shooter with the Dark Zone. Um, they're also working on a Survival 2.0 where DC is going to be covered in snow. So I'm looking forward to when they release that. But in the meantime, they're just kind of clearing some storage space, getting the characters going. And then I was like, I've done enough spring cleaning in my storage management of Division. Decided to pick up Diablo 4 again. Did another sorcerer that's doing lightning, and already at like level 38,
Oh,
I'm
nice.
kind of holding my own for a good bit, except for whatever this new Chaos Phantom where they have like black holes swirling around them. That's about the only thing really kicking my butt. But it's like I've learned to keep my distance and then just electrocute them and hit them with lightning bolts and stuff like that. So we'll see. That as I level up and get actual legendary gear that has abilities to kind of play into that whole shock and awe kind of deal, I'll be able to hold my own a little bit better. But just having fun with
Heck
it.
yeah.
But yeah, and not to forget, played a good bit of like I'm about 19 hours in Outer Worlds 2.
Mm.
Also, Ball Pit, which I'm 60% done with the achievement, so I'm like 600 and something out of it. So really been falling into that. And then there's another one that I've dived into, and I can't remember the name now, but I've yet to get to Keeper. Played a little bit of Ninja Gaiden 4. Just had to
Oh,
at least
yeah.
give it a try. Love the brutality in it. A lot of blood spatter and limbs chopped off kind of thing. So great
Mhm.
hack and slash. Just have to find the time to play it. Like right now, Xbox is killing it. We're loaded with games, and we haven't. What is it? Call of Duty is tomorrow, I think, or later this
Oh,
week or something. So
crazy. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it's been a pretty busy gaming couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty good gaming week. I didn't get to play a lot of games lately because of this dang trailer, but I did play a little bit of Arc Raiders. And that game is insane. I had a moment in the game where the extraction point or the you're in that zone and you have an option to close it and then people could run towards it who are not your teammates, and the voice chat on there is pretty active from my experience. Like a lot of people was over the mic communicating with each other, and it is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. I had a moment where I closed the door and somebody's like, no, what, no. It's freaking, it was great. I only played a few games, but that was it. Every game I've played felt like I was in a movie. It felt like I was in some scene where it was like scripted, but it was the thing that actually happened. So I only felt that way with Battlefield. I believe like one other game that makes it feel like you're in a scene of a movie where you run by and all of a sudden explosion is next to you, like you just somehow in a scene of a movie. Yeah, it feels that way. It's pretty dope. I'm liking it so far. I've only played a few matches, but I when I get time, I definitely want to check out some more. And then I played a little bit of Outer Worlds too, and so far, just from my brief time in it, I definitely curious on your thoughts, Fuzz, since you played a lot of it. I I liked it a lot more than the first one. Um, like the first one was great. It felt like a smaller experience though. Like it, it it's like they tried, which is uh, like Obsidian. I don't know. They do a really good job. Is like even if it's smaller, it feels big because they give you a lot of options. That's something Obsidian does really well. And then Outer Worlds 2, I think it was that, but it feels like a lot more, and I almost feel overwhelmed with all the different options of your like your character upgrades and things like that. But man, just from what I briefly played on it, I love the way the guns feel, and uh, the first few hours feels like a solid experience to me. So yeah, I'm curious on your thoughts, Fuzz, before we move on to the first topic. First in well, two topics. We have two topics. But curious at like your extended thoughts of Outer Worlds 2. Oh, I think you're muted. Did I do that?
I think I did that.
Okay, okay.
No, it's definitely a lot more to it than the first one. A lot more options as far as conversation stuff, and depending on like what perks you picked and stuff, a lot more things will pop up. Now, the drawback is you got to be careful of some of the flaws, and I'm finding that certain ones completely change your character. There's some good aspects to it, obviously, but then some of the aspects that I didn't want are real. Well, I had to go back to a save, which I highly recommend doing a lot of saves, especially after you make or just before you make a what seems like a critical decision, but especially if it involves your like your companions or your teammates and things. Um, because for the most part, there's one that's real helpful. So I'm like, I'll take my time, answer questions, or give them advice or whatever. But after I picked up the compulsive liar perk, because uh, I guess I lied a couple of times to kind of get my way through certain gates or certain security areas and stuff. Um, because of that, now when I have conversations with them, it's like I got better things to do. Just go away, kind of stuff. So it's like I don't want to be the a-hole to him and stuff because like he saves your life in part without spoiling anything, but I want to make sure if I need him to save my life later that he will, or he'll be like, oh, F that dude, let him die there, kind of thing. So I had to go back to before I picked up the compulsive liar thing. But it does help when it comes to lying to like security guards or getting past security or finding new ways of opening doors. It's like, oh, I think I left my key in my other pants pocket from yesterday or something. They're like, don't worry about it. I think I remember seeing you from yesterday. Yeah, let me go ahead and open up that door for you, kind of thing. So it's like
That's
the
great.
compulsive liar thing definitely comes in handy in some stuff, but yeah, it may make you an a-hole when you don't want to be an a-hole. So you gotta be careful. And then I think Boone was talking about like a thing that he picked up that was like one of those flaws. Well, now all the ones that come up, he has no option to say no. Like you pick the
Mm,
flaw that now makes it so all of them are picked up by default. So he says he has like 17 flaws now. So he's like a kleptomaniac, a compulsive liar. I forget what else he said he had, but it's like he's always picking up stuff. Oh, and he can't break down things, but he gets more
mm,
money when he goes to sell the items as a whole piece kind of thing. I mean, he can still get the crafting materials, but he won't be able to get those out of like breaking down a gun or breaking down a uniform or anything like that. So some good, some bad, but I like that option in that game because it definitely changes up things or makes things a lot more interesting, a lot more fun. So be on the lookout for those. Be careful on which ones you pick. If it seems like something that might bite you in the end, make sure you save before you or try to exit out of it just in case. But there are some ones that I think give you like more perk points and things
mhm.
like that. But then I don't think you get to pick the perk or something. It's something weird along those
Mm.
lines. So there's some good ones out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely gotta play it some more. Do you usually pick in games like do you typically go the super good route if you can in games where like, oh, I'm so like I'm not gonna lie to you, and like is that like your typical style, I guess, in a game?
I think a lot of times I try that as the first playthrough, although with this one, I'm more for my crew. Because of
Mm,
something they did like in the early part where they kind of like backed me up. So it's like for here on out, if it means, if I have to choose between the people that are on my crew versus, somebody else, I'll lie to them, but I don't want to lie to my crew. So I'll try to make sure everybody's taken care of. But, I've definitely lied to other individuals, or I haven't stolen. Well, no, I won't say that because I have pickpockets. I forget whose pocket I picked, but like typically, like perfect example, like with Starfield, I had to play the good guy, or like the
yeah.
more like the military officer aspect, kind of like what I did in real life and like the choices I would make as an officer.
Mm,
Um, I did that on the first playthrough, but then I was like, I don't like some of these people because you'll find, and even in Starfield, you'll come across people that are, I wouldn't say fake, but they're not who they seem to be, kind of
yeah.
thing. So I wanted to make sure I started another playthrough to be the a-hole and see if I can either kill them or just screw them over from the beginning, kind of thing. But with this one, it's like I'm trying to be reserved, but it's like, ah, what is it? There's one faction that it's like I don't care if they don't like what I say, or if they don't like that I'm not going to buy their brand of
Yeah,
stuff or
willing
whatever.
to burn that
Yeah,
bridge.
yeah, it's like, oh, that bridge is already burned. I think with one group, they don't trust what I say or don't trust me anymore, and they will shoot on sight.
Mm,
thing.
hmm.
So I've already made some enemies, but I typically try, at least on my first playthrough, not to make the enemies. But like I said, in Starfield, I do have an a-hole shoot first, ask questions later playthrough where I'm banned from Mars. Like as soon as I land on Mars and I go into that little town, they start shooting at me. It's like the bounty hunters are right there. And no matter what, like I could try and pay the bounty or no, they won't even negotiate. It's like I must have did something so horrible. And it was weird because I wasn't intentionally doing anything wrong. I
Hmm.
wanted to try to join the Crimson Fleet without
Yeah.
going through the fake UC prison, transition thing or whatever.
Hmm. I
There's a
think
way
that's
you
what I
can
did.
join them without being part of the UC and being like a spy. So I was trying that route, and for some strange reason, the guy you're supposed to meet up with either shot somebody or somebody shot around me, and or no, somebody shot at me, I think, and I
Hmm.
shot them, and then everybody saw it. So then the cops were after me, and the guy for the Crimson Fleet was like, "You're crazy, man. You'll fit right in." So I was like, "Okay, great." But like every time I go to Mars, it's like, "Nope, get him," pew, pew, pew. And it's like I can't even have what's her name? I forget the
Andrea.
one, the blonde.
Oh,
She's like she
Sarah. Is it
always
Sarah?
dislikes everything I do. So it's like just stay on the ship. I'll bring the Andrasia. It's like as long as I'm not, stealing, from her faction or something, she doesn't care. She's like, they had it coming. They shouldn't have shot first or something. So it's like,
It's so funny. Yeah, I think I would bring Andrasia all the time because some of the decisions I made were a little questionable, but
hmm,
she seemed to accept that. And then whenever I brought Sarah or whatever her name
yeah,
is,
Sarah, yeah.
um she would be like, "Why did you do that? You should have waited." And I'm like, "No." So also, I'll add this. I would I generally play like a pretty good route in Starfield. Like I try to be as good as I can, try to be as honest as I can.
Mhm.
But there will be some comment sometimes that someone will be like, "Psst, who do you think you are?" And he'll like turn away and not talk to me, and then I'll be like, "Okay, okay, let me save this game real quick." You go in the save file, you do whatever you want, and then you go back.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was like, you know what? My NPC, Andreja, she didn't react how I thought she would. She actually thought it was pretty cool, so I'm gonna stick with this choice. So I did that sometimes, but like, yeah. Shout out to everybody jumping on it. Big Batmo, Vinci, Rashun. I is it Roshan? Roshan?
Mhm.
And Lore Master Jasper, and then Brett Bingham and Web Dave was in here earlier. So appreciate y'all. This is PXE Shorts. We're just gonna get through 2 topics and then hang out with you guys for a bit. So let me switch to our screen. All right. All right, so something I saw, Fuzz, was actually some rumors that were kind of going around. I thought we could tackle on it. This comes from an article from PC Gamer, where they say, and I quote, "There is no PS5 Day One cross-buy feature. However, leaked symbols on the PlayStation Store suggest Sony is preparing a cross-buy system for PS5 and PC games. This potential feature would allow a user to purchase a game once and access it on both the PS5 and PC, similar to Microsoft's Play Anywhere initiative. But it has not been officially confirmed, and its specifics are unknown." It follows it up by how it might work. The feature would enable a single purchase to grant access to the game on both a PS5 console and a personal computer. Status: this is not an official confirmed feature, is subject to change based on Sony's plans. They had a couple other snippets in there of like how they discovered this. See if I could find it. Quote: "The leak first appeared on X, where user Amethys posted an image purportedly showing new hidden symbols that have been added to the store," he says. Once icon read cross-buy, while the second one read, this is kind of laggy, so I'll play GTA. While the second read PS5 and PC. New symbols will be added soon, website and tool, but here are some nice new features for PlayStation, he wrote. So yeah, so very interesting. It also follows it up by, while this initial post was difficult to verify, later the user followed this up with a video in which they locate the symbols within the PS5's user menu. So that's a little bit more convincing. It had some decent posts and opinions after this. Fuzz, I'm kind of curious what you think. It follows it up with PlayStation Studios. Shuhei Yoshida explained that releasing its exclusives on PC is almost like printing money. If that's the case, then cross-buy would seem to stop the presses somewhat, it says, as it seems Sony would lose that second bite of the apple. However, Yoshida also pointed out that Sony believes when players are exposed to a new PS game via PC, those people may become fans of a particular franchise. And when a new game in that series comes out, they may be convinced to purchase a PS5. By this line of thinking, cross-buy would make it easier to expose those players to the PlayStation ecosystem, possibly encouraging PC-only players to pick up a PS5, end quote. So, a lot of good thoughts on there. I was looking at that. I'm like, my first thought, and we talked about this on the show before, but my first initial thought was like, hey, there was rumors a while ago that they're going to have a store at some point, and then it just kind of disappeared. In like, where the heck is, I think they just had other priorities. They're not as big of a company as Xbox. I know it doesn't seem that way because they're like, PS5 is the top, it's the best selling console and stuff like that. But with some of their initiatives, you really started to see them scale back in their game development and some other things, which I believe has also included some of their initiatives with their store, possibly. And I would love for them to have a store. I think it would be really cool. I think it only increases the competition. It's really interesting because we started to see articles pop up where it's like, well, you'll be able to play a lot of these games on the next Xbox console because it's going to support Steam.
Yeah.
So cross buy, all the things I was kind of talking about in this article. What are your overall thoughts, man?
Okay, I'll start with the positives, or what I consider the positives. I would love for PlayStation to do this. Like, even if it means that, and we've, like you said, we've talked about this where, well, maybe that would be the solution for day and date on PC. You have to go through the PC or the PlayStation PC store as opposed to Steam. Steam might get it like 3 to 4 months later, but the PS store on PC, day and date, and cross-buy aspect where if I buy it, at the PC store, or if I buy it on my PS5, I could play it either place. That would be awesome. It's what I enjoy about how Xbox is treating this, play anywhere aspect where you get the dual entitlement. But I have to go into what I think might be fake news. And I made a counter post to this. And the only reason why is and I'm not an insider by any means, but from what I know about the PS Store, it hit a roadblock in the very early phases, which I don't know if it's cleared that roadblock at this point, but I was informed that it came down to how they're starting the structure. So the company that they're working with has been, as far as from a decision standpoint, the problem. So
Mm.
I think it's still in the works, but I do think it's still a couple of years away. I'm pretty sure they're trying to fast track it as best they can, but I do think it's a couple of years away. So with these posts for those icons, and I'm not the greatest at Photoshop, but I assume that those were Photoshop icons. Now they look very PlayStation like and stuff
Mm.
like that, but uh, the reason why I'm thinking they were Photoshop more so than anything, Amethyst's video, and this is when I turn on my PS5.
Now I didn't see the
A
video,
little bit
so
of dust,
this is great.
a little bit of dust on it, but I've haven't played GT 7 in a bit, but turned it on to try to mimic exactly what he was doing, and he's on the profile page, which I think he tried to make his profile page look like the way one of the Xbox handhelds layout is, or even like the Steam page. That's just his profile page. And the only thing that it will show are like your clips or anything you've shared and stuff. Now it'll show some of your activity as far as the games and achievements and things like that, like what you'll see under his picture and like the blocks where it shows like Grand Theft Auto 3 times or something. Underneath where he has all those icons, that is just your bio. So you can't copy an icon from the store and put it in your bio. You can
Mm.
do HTML coding, or if you do the play from your PC, you could potentially type in your bio and then copy and paste that icon that you may have made in Photoshop into your bio. I haven't tried it, but I'm pretty certain that's what it's more along the lines of. Because the thing where it tries to seem like where he puts like either the date or like an age range or something like that, and then it shows that, oh, no media is available, it's because he hasn't uploaded or shared a clip. So it's like
Mm.
one of those things where I asked him, I was like, what are you showing up? Why are you showing us your bio? And how is editing your bio any proof that these things are existing? Um, because the cool thing that he does is use a different language than what most people that would see this would do. And I kind of, I wouldn't say I laugh at like gaming media, because I noticed IGN and Push Square and Gamer Rant or something like that. Like a lot of them
Hmm.
didn't double check this person's back or track record as far as insider stuff. But it's
Yep.
like all you have to do is turn on your PS5 and see that that's the page he's on is your profile, and all he's doing is editing his bio. It's not a search result thing. It's not like he was, trying to get it to show games that were under that. But when he does that edit, it puts you to the page where you would have your videos or your shares on your account. So, like for Xbox, gamers and stuff, whenever you do a post on your profile, that's what that page is like, or what it would be like as far as what he's showing. It's not like our actual game page or like the full screen mode of like the Xbox Ally. So
Mm.
I'm calling it fake for right now, especially considering like PlayStation's the type where if this was a real thing, they would have kind of sped up announcing it, even if it's not completely ready. Um, and I'm just surprised that the gaming media didn't reach out directly to Sony. Like I've actually reached out to, and
Yeah.
I'm awaiting a response, but I'm not a journalist, so I can only imagine they were
They're
going to be
like,
like,
who's
"Who's
this
this?
fuzzy
Who
guy?
the f is this guy? Like, what is he asking these questions for?" But showing them a picture of what's supposed to be their actual icons, and if it's leaked, I'm pretty sure they would want to contact me, and I haven't gotten a cease and desist, so I'm gonna call it as wishful thinking by I think it was what Zubitech made a picture post
Oh,
of the
the zoo. Oh,
icons.
that dude.
Amethyst did the same thing, and
Hmm.
Amethyst was the one that did the video, and then there was
Hmm.
another guy. Although I think the other guy may have been duped by the other two, but it's like people at IGN when they saw Zubitech making that post, they should have been like, "Oh
That's what.
yeah."
That's what. Yeah. That if I knew Zuby Tech posted it, I probably wouldn't even have made this a topic because that dude.
But yeah, but the key thing is this is something that PlayStation should seriously consider, especially if they're not going to make the PS6 a hybrid console like what Xbox is doing.
Hmm.
Not that they're going to be hurting for sales because there's going to be loyal PlayStation fans that bought the PS4, that bought the PS5, and will buy the PS6 no matter what. So they're probably locked in for at least 50 million sales without any hassle. But I would say for those that are in that ecosystem right now that also are in Xbox's ecosystem and maybe also in Nintendo and also on PC, it would make the most sense to lock them in where, okay, well, I'll start buying the PC titles, especially the day and date. And it's not like PC is really going to cannibalize their sales. While there are a handful of us that will buy it on the PlayStation 5 and then 6 months to a year later when it hits Steam, we buy it again. Some of us are at the point where, you know what, we'll just wait until it comes to Steam. So if we're already in the waiting mode for waiting it for it to come to Steam, you've already lost our sale on the PS5. And for those that have both a PS5 and a PC, if you do the dual entitlement, well, you're still getting money from that customer. It's not like that customer is not going to buy it all. Well, then again, there are some that are like, "Oh, it's going on PC. I can't stand this. I'm not going to buy a PlayStation game again." I guess there's a crowd out there that would be like that, but all in all, they would still make money hand over fist. Plus, they wouldn't have to spend as much marketing because that way, when you have something like, let's say, Ghost of Yotai, if it's coming out, well, it's already out, but like when it came out, if it came out on both PC and on PS5, well, chances are on me, because I'm still waiting for it to go on sale on PS5. But if it doesn't go on sale before it's on PC, then I'll just get on PC. But if you had it the same date, then you would already have my money as opposed to waiting until for me waiting until it's on sale where you're going to get less of my money. But
Yeah.
that's my outlook on it. I know that there's a lot of people that bought it day one, but then there's also a good bunch of us that are like $70 games. When there's a lot of other things to play right now, I don't need to spend the 70 and then have it sit in my backlog until I finish, the three games I have right now. I'll just come to it later. And oh, by the way, if I wait, it'll be on sale by that point. So, but I would
Yeah.
love to see Sony do this. But I think these guys are kind of in the wishful thinking group. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong. Like tomorrow, Sony makes an announcement. Oh yeah, those were real, icons, and I'll just eat crow and be happy about it because the cross-buy aspect that I wish Sony would have done at the same time as Xbox will finally be a realization. But we'll,
Yeah.
we'll see how long it takes them to get to that.
100%. I for one, anything that Zuby Tech says, I'm like, yeah, it's probably the opposite. But let's just say if it was a thing, it would make sense for this to happen if they had a platform like a PC store to kind of support that. And they don't have that right now. So if they were, maybe they move those plans, let's say hypothetically, if you were going to have like this feature and then that was in the works, maybe that got pushed to the next console, the plans for the store, and then that
Yeah.
could make sense with the next launch of the console, because you're like, what makes this one different from the PS5? As graphically, it's not going to be a huge thing. So then you start looking at features that differentiates it, even though it could go on the PS5. Sony likes to do these things where, like, that controller all of a sudden doesn't work, and you're like, oh, this is only working on the PS5. Woo! They love doing that. So I could see them doing that with
Yeah.
with the PS6.
That would
And
be
maybe that
cool
could be there.
to launch it at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And I'm not saying like, I think it would be a good thing for Sony to do a cross buy thing. It's like Microsoft has introduced certain features that I think I wish was industry standard. Honestly, like, you buy a game once, you don't have to buy it again. There was like this wave of games for a while, like, you buy it and then they release a different version of it and it's like $70-$80. Like, this is basically the same game. All you have to do is patch it. As in Sony has basically been capitalizing on that. This is almost this entire generation,
Yeah.
to be frank. And basically it's getting them by at this point. So I maybe they won't do it, now that I'm like talking myself out of it, like with all this stuff. But I think it would be cool if they do. Big Bad Mo says Destin did a video, I believe, I guess, on this topic. I'll have to check it out. Me and Destin got mini beef, but out of all the people at IGN, he's not the worst. He's not the worst. I think because he's in the weeds of IGN. There's certain things that he I don't know. He's not bad. He's not bad. There's certain things he's very high strung on, I guess.
Yeah. Certain games, it's like it grinds his gears, and he's like laser focused on destroying those games. Like
Yeah.
what was that? Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
They didn't give me a copy. Oh, look, it's day 18 of less than 10,000 people on Steam. Like, what are you doing? Either play the game or shut up.
Yeah, that was insane. I feel like that game in particular was extremely targeted, which we talk about sometimes on this channel. But like, sure, you don't like Suicide Squad for sure, but I just think a lot of the criticisms of that game was punishing it just for it not being what they wanted, which you shouldn't punish a game for not being what you want. You should just punish for what is in there, like what's in the game, what does it offer you. A lot of people was just like, well, this is not an Arkham game, how dare you. um and I wasn't seeing the game like that. I thought it was really fun, it was polished. um I thought it was fun. I don't know. I judge game by funness, and also people's punishing that game. It was so funny. People's was punishing that game would be like, "What? You kill the Justice League?" when it's literally on the box. Like, they warned you, bro. They warned you that you will be killing the Justice League. But like, what do you mean? This is terrible. Why would you want to kill the Justice? It's like, bro, I don't know. It's that controversy of Suicide Squad to me was unwarranted. But you could hate the game. I don't care.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good time. All right, so Fuzz, our second and only topic, our real topic. Yeah, so not a lot of news today, but this is sent to me via Fuzzy, and thought that we should talk about GTA 6 getting delayed again. And for me, bro, GTA 5 came out when I was 18 years old. Since then, I've released a short film. I have a TV show now. Moved into a house. I got married. I graduated. I became the Affleck Duck. The whole Stranger Things show was started and then finished. It launched on the Xbox 360, in which their live marketplace is no longer available. It was re-released on the Xbox One, and then released again on the Series X and PS5. And despite all that, I say it's been so long where I guess I'm just like, take your sweet time, I guess.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's actually it's been a long time. Um, there's that one Ubisoft game. It still hasn't beaten though. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. At least we're getting some content from GTA 6. They release wallpapers, pictures, occasional teasers. Ubisoft just like hides in shadows whenever that game is mentioned. So apparently that game's still in development.
Yeah.
I unless someone tells me otherwise, I'm a keep hoping. It's like the Half-Life 3, I guess. But yeah, I I have a lot of games to get through anyways, and once GTA 6 does come out, I do believe that will demolish any other game that's going to come out around that time. So we all good. So
Yeah.
however, there are a couple questions that do pop up in my mind for the game itself, as one being the online mode. I know we had some leaks for the game. It does make me wonder what the online mode is going to be like when it comes out. How scummy are these systems going to be? They're Rockstar, right? Like they are probably going to lock some experiences behind some paywalls.
Yeah.
Like they had a pretty big history of doing for GTA Online, like certain cars and unlocks. They will like, oh, it's already in the game, but they like lock it for like a future expansion or something like that, which I get. You know, they
Mhm.
you want content to be in rounds and kind of bet to people so you can make your money.
Mhm.
um I do wonder what that's going to look like for GTA 6, because they spent, this is probably the most expensive game ever made. Just from rumors,
Yeah.
like I heard what it was like 2 billion, 3 billion, something
Yeah.
crazy like that. And
Somewhere in the 2 billion plus range. Like
yeah, and just looking at what is going to be in this game is actually not, it's not too unbelievable, because they're doing some things in this game. Potentially, there's still rumors and stuff, but they're doing some things in this game that I don't think has been done before. So GTA 6 delayed again, Fuzz. I'm getting some gray beards and all that. What are your thoughts on GTA 6 getting delayed again?
I think a lot of people, and I see Big Matt Mo said, I called it. I think a
He
lot of
did
people
call it.
saw
I
that.
remember that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people saw that May date and was like, that doesn't feel like Rockstar. That doesn't feel like a real date. And sure enough, they were right. Um, I didn't believe May was going to be a release date. Like I would have believed it more when they didn't announce it until May, that it was going to come out last year, more so than it would come out May. And the fact that it didn't come out last year, it's like, oh yeah, it's going to be the end of this year. If then, like at worst case, it could wind up being like the end of 2027, because I don't think Rockstar's ever released a game the caliber of Grand Theft Auto or even Red Dead Redemption outside the fall or winter time. Like I could see them trying to do a summer release, but like that's just not like what they do or what they've been doing in the past. So this was kind of expected. I wasn't expecting it to be announced solely in the financial call. I was kind of expecting them to do something similar to what I think they, if I remember right, because it's been 12 plus years now. I thought during Grand Theft Auto 5, which had already been delayed from like the fall of a previous year, and then it was supposed
Mm.
to come out like they said sometime in June or something like that. And then they released the trailer right around like when there was an investment call, and it was like I think it was their deeper dive trailer. And at the end of the deeper dive trailer, I think they announced at or made it clear that it wasn't coming out until like November or something like that. So I was expecting more so of a deeper dive trailer, like, oh, welcome to Vice City, where you can, get your first starter home, and as soon as you get off the plane, or you have a houseboat as soon as you start, and you're going to be
Yeah.
helping so and so find people that have jumped bail bonds or whatever the case may be. I thought they were going to go through like the breakdown of what the single player story is going to, how it's going to play out with weapons, or if you're switching characters between the guy and the girl, or which I'm hoping, because this was the one thing I've said before that would have made Grand Theft Auto 5 perfect. Have it where it's co-op, where you can pick which
Mm.
character you want to be, and then one of your friends or a family member or something like that that is on another console or whatever can pick the other character, and you can play out the game however you want. You can either split up and like conquer the each end of the map, or do
Yes.
missions together and watch each other's backs kind of thing. So I would love for them to like unveil that type of stuff. And that's some of the like next gen or next level stuff that I hope they have in the game. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it in May. But not having a trailer makes me a little more weary of them even hitting the November deadline. Like,
Mm.
and they didn't really go into detail other than that, well, we just want to make sure it's to the standard that you're accustomed to, which is awesome. Take all the time you need to make
Yeah.
sure it's not broken out the gate. Well, unlike when they do some of their remakes, like what was it, the triple pack where it was like Grand Theft Auto 3, San Andreas, and
Oh yeah,
something
yeah.
else where it was like the actual like player mod versions were better than what Rockstar had put out. The
Yeah.
rain was off, and it was like a broken mess kind of thing.
It was like a
So
lot of
with
glitches that wasn't in the original game, graphical bugs and yeah.
Yeah. So like hopefully they can take their time and get everything sorted so when it's ready to release, it's, typically the standard, although there are still some bugs after the game releases, although they're minor. Usually they're glitches in favor of the player, where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, the briefcase with money reappears after a certain amount of time, or if you fast travel from point A to point B or switch between characters, it reappears and you can pick up 25,000 endlessly between switching the players. Because I know that that was a bug that I remember from the PS3 days when I played it there. But yeah, I'm hoping that this game is close to ready come November, but not seeing a trailer makes me wonder. And I really
Yeah.
wonder if they're going to have the online ready, which I got a whole theory on that one, which I was joking at first where it's like, oh, it'll be free to play and you can just start off as a bum on the street and you have to work your way up kind of thing. But if you just do our 9.99 subscriptions monthly, you'll get a starter house, a starter car, a starter bike, a starter boat, and every month
Before you know
you
it.
get your insurance and your modification budget and all that stuff. So it's like I could see them doing a subscription service, but I'll go into more detail on that because I think a lot of people are like, oh, they'll just charge 100. And I'm like, I don't know. I like if they do charge 100, I have a question for you guys. Do they include the online at that point? Because I think they're going to charge you 70 and it's just going to be the single player, and you're going to pay an extra 30 to 50 for the online, and then you have to
Mm.
do a subscription if you want to, keep that McMansion, or if you want the Ferrari, yeah, sure. You gotta pay the insurance on that car and the
Mm.
locator fee if somebody steals it kind of thing. So yeah, you're going to be paying 70 for the single game, and you might wind up paying another 70 for the online version. But
Ooh.
I don't hope it doesn't go that route. I hope they don't even try a subscription thing for the online, but All I know is if I was a game dev, I would make sure my game is nowhere near it, with certain exceptions. Halo is one of those that could survive. I think Call of Duty could survive, but I think they'll even move Call of Duty. Um, but yeah, November is now off limits for devs, I think.
Yep.
They probably all had meetings, and May is open season. So be prepared for your backlog to get bombarded come May, because now everybody that was trying to avoid Grand Theft Auto is just going to release their game in May and be like, all
Yep.
right, you're done for the year.
It was funny. I think Digital Revolver had a post where they were like, what, you trying to avoid us, Rockstar? I love their posts. They're freaking great. You brought up some points I didn't even think about. I didn't think about how they will charge for the online portion. I just assumed they might release it how they did with GTA 5, but now that yeah, you're right. I mean, with what they did with GTA 5 is initially it was a part of the package. Like you bought GTA 5, I think online servers were kind of crapped a few days. I don't think they released it right away, if my memory serves. But eventually servers went online and bada bing, bada boom. What it is now is GTA Online started to be separated so people could just play the single player, and then it's like this sort of launcher type thing that Modern Warfare kind of does. Like they treat their games in like segregation in a way where you can just, if you want to play a part of the game, or it's kind of cool. I actually do like that. It gives you a little bit more control. Like I only really want to play the multiplayer. It doesn't really force you to. um I'm a huge single player guy. I don't care. Like the fact that Battlefield now has single player is a big thing for me. That gives it automatic points. I remember me, Mav, and Pong was arguing about this. You guys should go back and watch that stream me, Mav, and Pong had about Battlefield, because for a while I was like, no, this game needs single player. It needs all these modes. Because they're like, no, I'm having a good time with it. I'm just saying, man. I'm not calling you out, but I'm just saying. I love a good premium package with what a game comes out with. And I think GTA, now that you said it, Fuzz, I think, yeah, they might charge. Oh man, I didn't even think about this. Yeah, they might charge 70 for the game. Like, look, we didn't charge 100, but then if you want to play the online, oh dang, I feel like that's what they're gonna do now. That's actually genius. I mean, I'm gonna buy it. This is the one game I'm like, if it was 100, I probably will get it. Regardless, this is one of
I'd
those few
grind my
games.
teeth and be willing or bewilderedly give them the money, I think. I would try to hold out as long as I could, and then people would be like, man, this is awesome. I'm jet skiing in Vice City, and I stole a helicopter and blew up the police station. Like, God damn it.
Yeah,
A
I just
hundred.
picture myself at a GameStop giving the money, and the guy just snatches it. Give me that. Like goodness gracious, that's where we're headed though. But yeah, if I was Rockstar, yeah, that's probably what they're gonna do. But yeah, that brings up my earlier point about the online and how they're gonna handle the online elements of the game. Um, I picture this, Fuzz. I'm sticking with November. I think November. But I said that last time. I said the thing about May, so I'm gonna double down, go all in, put my chips. I lost the last bet. It wasn't there was no bet, but there was, I would have lost. Um, I think November is the time. Maybe it's not gonna be like a December, because if it is, well, if it's like a December, let's say they delay it like one more month. Um, Game Awards will find a way to put it in there. Even they don't do that, they'll make a special exception for that game, even though every other game that comes out in December.
They'll
um
be like, we played the pre beta or the pre launch, and we hold the right to have it where as long as it's available the day before the show, it's good. Wait,
it's like wait, what about the other game? Like, yeah, but we just added a new rule. Just wanted to let you guys know for GTA 6 specifically.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can imagine that happening. Actually, like I'm making fun of it, but I could totally see that happening. Um, let's get to some comments, and then I mean, we'll see, we'll see. Um, Legendary Yobi says if y'all talking about the trilogy definitive edition, then LOL. That was the remastered iOS versions ported to consoles. Rockstar was foul as F for that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, that was interesting because before that, I'm like Rockstar only releases like the premium, the quality. And then
Hmm.
I played that game and then my character is like falling through the floor as soon as I load up the level and like I played day 1, I played San Andreas.
Hmm.
It was the collection, so I think it was GTA 3,
Yeah.
San Andreas and then Vice. And I just want to relive my experience with San Andreas because they disabled. Oh, I forgot. They're so scummy. I'm just thinking about this. They disabled San Andreas. Like you couldn't buy it anymore because they wanted you to buy it again.
Yeah.
For the pack that's in. Oh, I'm so mad at them because it was on the 360, and that version was better because it didn't have as many bugs. But yeah, that was insane. I think there was some smaller company that they commissioned to do it.
That
I
was still
forgot their
terrible.
name.
They would have been better off commissioning the modders out there because there was somebody that was making a mod before they even announced that trilogy. They were taking GTA 5 since it's in the same location as San Andreas. They were using that engine and that model and then recreating it in that. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, bet, yeah, I'll buy that if it's like the price of DLC or 30.90 or 39.99 or something like that. Yeah, I'll buy it if it's in the GTA 5 engine." And they went and released the mobile version. I'm like, what?
Like what in the world?
Like that's not even as good as
Oh.
the like you said, it's not as good as the 360 version, let alone what the mod people were doing. It's like you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, that was such a lazy port, which is it's like for an IP like GTA, you would think like they would spend a lot of time, make it polished, make it introduce new people to the previous games and stuff like that. But yeah, when it came out, it was buggy. I do know they started to release a lot of updates for it, and like there's a lot of shaders that was broken. Like I remember looking at it, like this doesn't look right. Like it's like I don't know the original game. It's a lot older, but this just imagine you keep the original game exactly how it is, and then you just make it sharper somewhat. Like that does you can't just do that. There's certain things that need to be upgraded, and that's what it was when I first played it. It was just like ugh, like I know it looked bad back then, or it looked good when it came out, but I know it looks bad, but like
Yeah.
dang, you gotta do some work. You gotta do some new models or something. But yeah, some the community for GTA, like the modding community, is insane.
Yeah.
Because I seen mods for San Andreas that, and I played 5M, I believe it's
Hmm.
called. Um, they they did some amazing things with San Andreas. They had San Andreas multiplayer where it was crazy. So I remember I will vividly remember this, and I hope they have a lot of those experiences in GTA 6. Um, they would have it so you can rob banks online. They
Yeah.
would have people who were they would play cop as cops 24/7. They just log online. They're a cop. They're just going about their day. They follow all the laws and rules. You can actually go to jail if you commit a crime. You have to go to court in the multiplayer game. You in jail you can like work out, right? All these like little things that is they started to add in GTA 5 online, but those little things are missing from mainline GTA games where you play the story and like you don't go to jail if you commit a crime, you just restart and you wake up
Yeah.
and then but in these multiplayer, if you get arrested, they'll take you to jail. You hear other prisoners. There's one guy who had this emote. You do the little cup along the jail bars. Just little things like that. I think that makes it a lot more immersive. And I know 5M is actually partnering with GTA 6 this go around, so I can only
Yeah.
expect little role playing moments like that. And yeah, but it was amazing in San Andreas. I remember I did a whole bank heist. You could bury money in San Andreas, so I knew I was gonna get caught. So I buried the money, and I got, I was in jail for like a few months because they didn't have the money. They couldn't prove that, that it was me. Then eventually I found the spot. I digged it out. I was like, I'm rich. Uh, but I had a lot of fees to pay, so
Yeah.
it could have been bigger. But little stuff like that. I'm super excited about to see how they implemented those features in GTA 6, and just watching the trailer too. Seems like social media is going to be a big part of GTA 6, so I'm excited to see how that affects things as well. Read a couple more comments. Poison Maniac says Trilogy Definitive Edition was contracted by a mobile company studio. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then Yobi follows that up with it was done by Grove Street Games. Gotcha. Okay. So if they were contracted by the mobile studio, wait, what? Grove Street Game, isn't that just a part of Rockstar?
I don't.
Grove Street is a
Well, that's the name of the actual street in the game. So
yeah,
I'm
that's what
wondering
I
if it
was.
may have been like a mobile division of them,
Yeah,
or
because like
maybe they bought the licensing so they could use that name, and they've been partnered with because they've had other mobile versions. Like they had the Chinatown one. They had, I think,
mhm.
a mobile Vice City as well, which I think they had that for that trilogy. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like an outside group that they bought. But uh, both Yobi and Poison were pointing out, I guess 5M is now part of Rockstar or part of at least Take Two.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I have a feeling those are going to be integrated into the online, but for a fee. You'll be able to do the role play just like you could with five, but
Yeah.
for 9.99 a month, and you can be the state trooper that you've always wanted to be, and write tickets for all the speeders in Vice City. And yeah,
Oh man.
I could totally see that being the case. It's like, oh yeah, you pay your fee, you get your house, your car, and your job, and you probably get like two or three get out of jail cards
Hmm.
kind of
You
thing.
like you buy the cop package or something if you want to play as. Oh man, that's probably what they're gonna do. That's gonna annoy the heck out of me because it might actually work. This is the one game where like I've always said I buy micro transactions. Like it works on me. If you see a golden spear and I'm like, ooh, that looks cool. How much is that? $5. All right, okay, I'll get it. I'll get it. I'm that person that I will actually buy the shiny things if it makes my character look cool, or if he gives a little
Yeah,
stat boost or something like that. It works on me pretty well.
yeah.
So I'm not looking forward to that for DT 6.
Well, I'm just
Yo,
glad they haven't done the NFT route. Like I was so
mm,
afraid when they first announced that GTA 6 was going to be released, somewhere in 25 or 26 or whatever. And I had figured they were going to be the first game that would get away with doing NFTs, where it's like, hey, you want a mansion, right? You want to live next to Snoop Dogg, right? Yeah. Well, buy this particular house, 1011, and you'll be right next door to Snoop, and it'll be your actual mansion. You'll be able to look out your window and see Snoop's character and whatnot, and be like, hey, do you want that purple Lambo? Yeah, just make sure you get the NFT for the purple Lambo. We're only making 1,000 of them, so you'll be one of the 1,000 people that has it in game. And
mm,
and and I could see they, like I said before, they're the only ones that could probably get away with that. Now, I say this, and I'm gonna probably be kicking myself when they announce all the NFTs that they're gonna have in the game, but I don't know. Yeah, they're one of the few that could get away with just about almost any microtransaction, although
Yeah.
that definitely means that PC is not available day and date because PC
Yeah.
players will just be like, "Oh, it's in the game files. Oh, well, I guess I have that for my single player game." And then they'll figure
Yeah.
out how to move it into the multiplayer. But yeah, for the single player, I think that's the biggest thing of why I want it on PC as soon as possible, so I can do all the mods and do the custom cars and stuff like that, change the player cars, possibly change the player house and whatnot. So yeah,
Yeah. And it looks like that the timing of this release is really interesting because Rockstar loves for people to double dip, and being that GTA 5 released on the 360, like we said earlier, released on the 360, then re-released on Xbox One,
Mhm.
then released again on the Series X. Um, they got a lot of money out of me, and I think they're gonna. I mean, the timing of it is interesting because it's gonna release on modern, next gen, new current gen consoles, Series
Mhm.
X, PS5, and then the new consoles are right around the corner.
Yeah.
So it's like, dang it, they do this on purpose. It feels like,
Oh yeah.
um, you know, it is what it
They're
is
like,
though.
when, how late can we put it on this console to make them buy it
Like,
on the
when's the
next
next one come
one?
out? Dang it! Oh goodness gracious!
Oh, we
Oh
got
yeah,
dev kits for the next gen consoles. All right, we better hurry up so we can get this out here, and then we can work on the other one. We got plenty of time to work on the next gen, and that'll give us a couple of years, so that way we can get another 70 out of them. Yeah.
it's like goodness gracious. And it's actually really smart them not doing PC because they could clearly put it on PC day one if they wanted. But they are it's a money thing.
Yeah.
They know a lot of people are like, well, I can only play it on console and yada yada. It's a lot harder to pirate on PC.
Yeah.
Um, so they're protecting that as well. So I get that. Um, but
Well,
it'll be down the line.
yeah. Well, my thing is I'm under the impression that while this game will be extremely successful, it won't be GTA 5 successful, which that's like the number one
Mm,
game with 250 million copies sold.
yeah.
I think this and the number I'm going to say is no slouch. It's like, oh darn, they're going to have to close Rockstar. No, they're going to sell. I'm going to say somewhere shy of 200 million. They'll be like 190 million copies. And I'm not going to say, will that be enough for Rockstar? Of course it will. That'd be enough
Mm,
for 10 Rockstars. But um, I don't think this one will do as well as five in the long term. Now, short run, yeah, it will break probably every record that's ever existed where they'll probably make, how they I think was it 2 billion in a week or something like
mm,
that. They'll do that. They'll do 2 billion in pre-orders alone. Like I don't think they'll even have to worry about, if counting out to the week or to the month. I think they'll probably sell somewhere around 40 to 50 million copies in a month. Like they
yeah.
they will do numbers that make every other game look like it's tic-tac-toe or something. But I could totally see them doing a lot of numbers early and then it kind of wane off. And then that might be where they have to start selling the online separate or do that subscription. And it's like, well, that's how we'll get the reoccurring revenue. Because the big thing that they did with five, and I know my son bought this two or three times. If you bought shark cards, they were $60. When they reduced the price of the game, I think you were either getting a $50 or $60 shark card for $35. So if you rebought the game at 35, it was including like a $50 shark card.
Mm,
So that's why they kept on reselling it. Well, that and people getting banned for doing silly stuff online where either they were dropping money through hacks or other people that hacked the game dropped money for them and then they got busted for it and stuff.
yeah.
So people had to rebuy the game, I guess. But yeah, I don't think they'll sell as many copies. They'll sell as many people are playing, plus or minus the banned copies and stuff. But yeah, they're gonna do well. They're gonna break records. Guinness Book of World Records is gonna see numbers it never thought it would see for gaming, and then every game is going to be like Grand Theft Auto because they're going to be like they sold 50 million copies in a month. We need to make
Mm,
a Grand Theft Auto 6.
yeah, yeah. Good luck with that, other companies. Um, so well, two things. So Yobi, he said it was done by Grove Street Games, and then um, later on, Poison said it's not owned by Rockstar, which is interesting. That to me, that's like if someone made a studio called Master Chief Studios, and and then Halo Studios contracts Master Chief Studios to help with Halo. Like that's just interesting. I wonder if their name was always Grove Street Games, or if they're like maybe they did some fan projects or something. I just think it's funny.
That's probably what it was. They probably did fan projects and was like, you know
Yeah,
what? Because the funny thing is, a lot of times these modders wind up working for Rockstar at some point because
yeah,
well, we saw like what people were saying they bought 5M, so that was a group of modders that were doing the whole simulated life stuff. So yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. That's crazy. And I want to address Mac's comment. He said, "Dude, what the f? Since when do you guys live on Mondays?" Also, I didn't get an alert. I don't know. So YouTube is weird with alerts. That's why every time I do a show, I do try to put a YouTube post out, and then I put it on Blue Sky, and then I have a bot that uploads it for me. It should have posted on X as well, because I don't get on X, but it should have posted on there. But yeah, YouTube has been really weird with alerts, but we're not moving to Mondays. Basically, I wanted to just do a show today with Fuzz. Just gotta go over just the GTA 6 topic. There's not a lot of news out lately. Um so really we're just hanging out with you guys. Um we've missed several Sundays because I've been working on my Bad Heroes trailer. It's my new animated TV show that I've been working on, um, and that's taken a lot of my time. So I just had to take a break for a little bit because I have a full time job, and I can only work on the trailer on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the rest I'm working at this job. So, but yeah, we're going back to our Sundays next week, if schedule allows for Fuzzy and everything. But yeah, we're going back to our regular schedule. It's just today we're like, I was like, screw it, I want to stream. I want to hang out with you guys. It's been a minute. The trailer is dropping in 2 days, so check that out. And yeah, just excited to hang out with you guys. Mac, Yobi, Poison, always appreciate you guys. It's never expected. I don't expect you like, all right, like come on, like pop in. It's always just fun to have you guys around, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. But yeah, lasting thoughts. Um, I think GTA 6 is gonna be freaking dope. I Something that's becoming clear. I do want to ask Fuzzy this before we close out. Is that online function? Like before talking with Fuzzy, I was thinking it was gonna be like pretty shady, but now after this conversation, now I definitely it's that's gone up. My suspicions for how shady Rockstar is gonna be with that online. Yeah, yeah, it's gone up a little bit. But my question for you, Fuzz, is like, so you mentioned all this different stuff with how they're planning on selling this game and things like that. I'm curious. So, how well did GTA 5 sell in its like first week? It's pretty well. You said. I'm just curious of why you think it won't beat GTA 5. Do you think it's the console? Like, how many people are on consoles now? Like, what are your general thoughts? Like, why do you think that?
I I think long term it won't do as well because they won't have to trick people into buying the game. They'll find a way to get the same money by
Mm,
doing the subscription for the online. Like that's the
gotcha.
like the biggest thing that got them to that 250 was the shark cards for free when you buy the game. So they were giving you basically like an extra $15. You get it was almost like you buy the $50 shark card for $35 and you got the game for free kind of thing. And I always thought it was weird because I know my son did it twice. And I'm like, why are you buying the game? He was like, it's cheaper to buy the game with the shark card than it is to buy the shark card by itself. I was like, oh, all right.
Mm.
So what do you do with the extra game code? I don't know. I just get the shark code. It's like, okay. But yeah, they were buying it or rebuying it. The first time I think was for the weapons, the bunker or something. And then the other time was to be the CEO for the business deal. And it's
Oh yeah,
like,
I've seen that.
so I'm like, so buying the game is cheaper than buying the shark card to buy the stuff that I, I was like, okay. At that point, I think we had already bought like 7 copies. I bought my PS3 copy, PS4 copy. Uh, I didn't buy them their Xbox One copy. That was their grandparents that bought them that. And
Hmm.
at that point, I wasn't going to take it away because they bought it for them a little early, and then the grandparents complained when they used the grandparents' credit card. So
Hmm.
that's why you don't buy kids crypto photo. But by the time they were much older and they had their PCs and I think their Series S at that point, I think we wound up buying a couple of more digital copies or something. And then I bought it for myself on PC because I missed when Epic gave it away for free. Like
Oh,
I have
okay,
almost
okay,
every
yeah.
other Epic game that they gave away except for Grand Theft Auto. It was like either I missed it by the day, I was like, oh, I got time to download it, or
You forget, yeah.
secure it, and I missed it. And I was like, I already own it on PC, but it's like it would have been nice to just have that free one so I can screw around with that that copy for mods. Although it took a lot of effort for mods for that one. I guess the mods
Yeah,
for the Epic version are different than the Steam or even the Microsoft version for that matter.
yeah. I have the man. I'm realizing that I actually bought GTA 5 more than I thought because I bought it on 360. And I bought it again on Xbox One. And I bought it again on Series X. And I bought the PC version. But the PC version, I think I bought the. I remember playing it through just like the Rockstar launcher, but I could have swore I also bought it again on Steam. So, anyways,
Mhm.
insane. They definitely got my money. Last comment I read. Yobi says, "Don't forget about their GTA Plus subscription. I'm sure that'll
Yeah.
tie in heavily with GTA 6 online." Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. When I was talking about the launchers, with like how they handle Call of Duty, I think eventually Rockstar would love to have that. They have their all-encompassing launcher. Um, where you can access GTA 5, 6, San Andreas, Red Dead Redemption, all in like one sort of launcher browser
Mhm.
thing. Uh, yeah, so I have a feeling they're gonna start to do that because the whole GTA Online thing being separated as they started to separate not only GTA but they did that with Red Dead as well. So yeah, I can definitely see that happening. Any lasting thoughts on that, Fuzz?
Yeah, just be ready, whether it's the $100 for everything or $70 for just the single player, the subscription for the online, but just know that they're going to get our money. I
Yep.
mean, unless you're not in GTA at all, because I know there's a few that are like, I don't play that. But for those of us that do, they're going to hit us over the head at least once, and we'll see if they try to hit us over the head again when it comes to the next gen Xbox, because it would be like a PC and a console. So then, is it automatically dual entitlement at that point?
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's
so
a good point.
we'll definitely see, but it's all I know is November is going to be a crazy month. I'm assuming, what do you call them? Gears will be, what is that, October, end of October.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, not Gears. Call of Duty will be October.
Call of
Gears
Duty, yeah.
might be, it'll either be early November because I think that's their 20th anniversary, but I have a feeling Xbox will move them to August, and then Halo is what, 4 days? Their 25th anniversary is like 4 days prior or something. Although that's a
Hmm.
Sunday, but I can totally see that month being loaded with like Halo, people still playing, Call of Duty. I'm pretty sure by that point Madden is already out because Madden is usually like August time going into September.
Hmm.
But people will probably still be playing that. People will still be playing 2K. And then all of a sudden GTA 6 drops and everybody will be like, oh, but nobody's on Steam playing anything other than, well, no, actually, everybody that's on Steam will be playing other games. They're on Steam and it won't be on PC. But yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath come November. Every game, probably except for Halo, will probably need to move. Halo's the one
Yeah.
where it's like, not that it's a different customer, but it's a big enough IP that if people buy it or don't play it that month, they'll come back to it because of the multiplayer. The multiplayer always brings them to the game. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yep. It's gonna be a fire game. So I only had one other thing, Fuzz, for this PXE shorts. That's basically I'm gonna put it up on the screen actually. It's this thing. So this is a Steam controller that was leaked. There's an apparently a new Steam controller. It looks pretty cool.
Mhm.
You know, I believe this is real. This is from Game Rant. So I'm gonna read this article from Game Rant, and then we're gonna head on out of here. Um, So, on the 10th anniversary of the now discontinued Steam controller initial release, rumors that Valve will be announcing an updated version are cropping up once again. And a reliable insider source has reportedly obtained information regarding the design of the updated peripheral. The source also claims that Valve will reveal the new Steam controller to the public soon, although a specific date was not provided. 2025 has seen several rumors regarding physical Steam adjacent products. Valve is also theorized to be announcing a wireless VR gaming headset in the near future, which may be called the Steam Frame. Now it seems that the updated Steam controller, drawing inspiration from the design of the popular Steam Deck, could be announced at that same time. Um, so pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is interesting when I think about Steam. Like technically, Steam already had a console. Not even
Mhm.
technically, they did have a console, right? Which wasn't as successful, and it is interesting to think about with Xbox going into the fray of being a hybrid console, where Valve, where everyone plays, whoever plays on PC most likely goes on Steam.
Mhm.
Um, that was a time for them to get something that is like a hybrid situation. So I do wonder, like, how successful Xbox will be in their hybrid initiative. I'm for it. I think it's freaking dope.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that they're doing this controller. Um, yeah. Hmm. Any thoughts, Fuzz?
I can't imagine that controller would be for like their VR headset. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming it's for something other than the Steam Deck. Because I mean, sure, you can dock your Steam Deck and play it on the monitor, and I guess you could use that controller, kind of like what some people do with the Switch. That's how I play my Switch with the 8-bit do or whatever controller and stuff. But I, for competition's sake, and I know that sometimes gets looked at sideways as far as the word competition, but with Xbox doing this hybrid, I want Steam to make a console because I want Xbox to still try their best to outdo Steam. Like right now, they're kind of playing nice. I don't want them to be combative, but I want them to be like, you know what? You make that controller, you're making a console. You could either load Xbox OS on it or you could load Steam OS on it. Or if you have the Xbox hybrid console, you could, jailbreak it and put Steam OS on it if you want it, or leave the Xbox OS on it. I want a world where we have those options and that potential to do that stuff. because then it'll really force Sony's hand to start doing that day and date on PC, or do the, dual entitlements or things along those lines. Because if Steam is now becoming more like a console, that's competition for them, as well as it's still competition for Xbox. And even though the Steam Deck didn't do, Switch numbers or anything like that, but for a PC handheld where those things were lucky if they sold 10,000 units in the past, and then the Steam Deck comes out and I think they sold 4 million or 4 million plus out of the
Hmm.
9 million over the past couple of years, which, yes, those are not big numbers, but we're talking about higher dollar items that when they launched were kind of an unknown quantity. Like, sure, people like Kay Asante and not Major Nelson. I forget his name now. Joanna Dark or Mr. Dark
Oh yeah.
um, have had handhelds for years, and some of them $1,000, even 5 years back or 6 years back, they were $1,000 plus. And now I would say more people handheld. So yeah, it's a great way to move gaming forward. That's the way I'll put it. Just I'm looking forward to how this future plays out.
Yeah. Um, and I do like the two trackpads. Like that is that is awesome. Because if we're talking about all these different consoles starting to bridge the gap between what a console is and what a PC is. I mean, consoles are PCs, right? But it
Yeah.
is very formatted to specific experiences. And this trackpad is kind of in the vein of being like a very hybrid experience. Like people who love PC gaming love the fact that on a mouse you can really control a character or a camera with
Mhm.
like a pad. Like you have those Counter Strike players who Twitch shooters and stuff like that. They could turn
Mhm.
really quickly, and that's always the thing where people don't want to play with people on Call of Duty because they can turn around really quickly and their sensitivity is insane. Not saying that this will be better than a mouse experience, but I think it's cool
Yeah.
that it's kind of bridging the hybrid gap between what a PC is and what a console is. So I'm a fan of it, and I saw it. I was like, oh well, dang. I mean, it's basically an Xbox controller,
Yeah.
but with like, well, no, I'll say some of it does look like an Xbox controller, but they do have the symmetrical sticks. Now I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I don't like symmetrical sticks, but I'll let it slide this time.
I mean, it works on the Steam Deck, and then for me, the Dual Sense with the symmetrical sticks,
Mm.
it, I like it better on fighting games, although I've gotten so used to the offset for Xbox that I actually prefer that now. But before, it used to feel better as far as if you're going to drive in a driving game with a controller, having the sticks side by side, it's a little easier until you get used to the offset. And then the
Yeah,
same thing with the fighting games. But at this point, offset is the best way, although on the Steam Deck, which it's
oh, you got the Steam Deck. Let's
freezing a little
see.
dusty here, but yeah, you can see it's
Oh,
symmetrical as
okay,
well.
so it is.
So,
Yeah, for some reason I was imagining it not symmetrical. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, that's
but
interesting.
yeah, I would be curious to see what that controller is like. I even if they offer it just as a separate item without a console, I might actually pick it up just to see and see if it works on the Xbox. Because yeah, mouse aim on a controller,
Ooh, yeah, it's looking
headshot.
appealing. Like I imagine it for every time I think about like a game controller like this, I immediately go to stuff like World of Warcraft or Diablo. Like those are games that, well, World of Warcraft especially, like for a while people said, oh, that game can't really work on consoles unless you really dramatically change the experience. But I don't know. I think when you start implementing things like this for a game like World of Warcraft, it could work pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a fan of it. And Poison, going to read the chat and then we'll get on out of here. Poison says, I'm not paying any game $70 or higher. It's my hill I'll die on. I also don't really have FOMO. Um, I do have FOMO. I mostly can disregard it just because I have so many other games to play. GTA is just an exception for me. Like I normally will not buy a game for $70. I think I'm trying to think of the last time I did buy a game for $70. Lately, if I see a game that's like $50, I'm like, how bad do I want to play? That's my mindset lately for games. I've been a lot more pickier for sure. I think I did buy one or two games my in this whole generation for $70. I think one of them was Hogwarts because I was obsessed with the Hogwarts game and I wanted all the packs. So I got like the special edition. So it might have been even more. Um, and I think the only other game I did it on was Tiny Tina when it first came out, which is dumb because I should have just waited because I don't know. I just really wanted it, and then I barely played it because some other games came out. But Poison, I might get Poison GTA 6. I might need to get him GTA 6 because I'm curious of what he thinks about it, and I don't want to wait for him to buy it, and it'll be like 2 years later, then I forget. So Poison, I might have to get you GTA 6. We'll see, we'll see. But no, appreciate everyone for dropping on. Any lasting thoughts on that, Fuzz, before we get on out of here?
Just attack your backlogs, people. It's been crazy these past few weeks, so clear out some backlog space. Play a different game each day if you can. Just that helps just a little bit. Helps each day. No, it's crazy right now. I think I'm going to pick up NASCAR 25 on PC again. So yeah, if you see me online and I'm playing NASCAR, yeah, I'm probably, head first into it. So that's going to be my life.
Do you is there things about NASCAR? You just tick something in me. Is there something in NASCAR that you like better than Forza?
For the AI is probably the biggest thing. They have it where you can, well, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do this in PC, but the sliders for the AI allows them to be more aggressive or less aggressive. It allows them to be in a tighter group, like where they're almost all getting the same lap times, or you can have a wider, variant. So
Mm.
they allow you to kind of manipulate the AI to make it more competitive or less competitive depending on what you're looking for. So for tracks like Talladega and Daytona, the one thing I never really liked about NASCAR in Forza is that they never really get the drafting together. Like you'll have it where it can be like 10 cars for a bit, and then after about two laps, they're all spread out single file. With the way NASCAR sets it, if you get everybody's times like real tight, where it's like a closer grouping, you'll be in a pack of like 38 cars for the entire race until somebody wrecks or something like that. Like you'll have like five kind of tail off and maybe be single file at the back like you would in real racing, or maybe like 10 cars will break off from the pack and stay a little bit further back and expecting to wreck, but you can adjust the amount of wrecks or how often they have wrecks and things like that to make it a little more real. Like I have it where there's a 30% chance that the drivers will spin out. And I put it less than 25% chance if I tap them that they'll spin. And the same
Mm-hmm.
thing for me. So that way you can do the bump drafting and stuff like that, which I have a couple of videos where it's like they have a choice of either going with a car that's high or low, and they pick me because it looks like they can give me more momentum to get out front. So if I stay in front of them, we can both pull, in front of the other car and stuff. So it's like they made the I wouldn't say super smart, but they made them competitive enough to feel like you're racing human players without it
Mm.
being human players.
Which is interesting because I remember Forza. And shout out to my team. You know, I have a lot of friends over there, but like the Forza, I remember there's this big thing with the cloud and how it learns from AI behaviors. I don't know how well it ended up doing it in the final release, but I do remember that being in their marketing of like the cloud will have it so you learn all these different player behaviors
Mhm.
and stuff. But it feels like maybe NASCAR is like, is this better?
Well, no, their approach is awesome. The
Hmm.
only drawbacks are it's like there's like some of the AI take from like the best drivers. So it's like if you're racing against like I think there's like the unbeatable AI, which it seems like they do everything perfect, make the turns perfect. They, hit the accelerator and the brake perfectly and stuff like that. It's like you make one mistake, you're done. You go from like third to 20th or something like that,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
realistically you might have that, but every so often they should make a mistake, and it doesn't
Yeah,
seem like they do. But
gotcha.
it seems like they'll either have it where the AI are super keen on doing great, and then sometimes they'll be super dumb, where it's like they all try to make the turn at the same time, and then they wind up wrecking, which I guess in real life sometimes happens, or at least on some of the online races. But when you have it where you can do those little micro adjustments where you put it more into the player's hands of what they can tweak, where you can make the cars a little bit faster, but the tires wear faster, or they run out of fuel if they're a little bit faster. If they, you know, go slower, they, conserve fuel and stuff like that. So since there's a lot of those little things, that's what I actually prefer, only
Mm,
because I can make them harder than what I should be able to drive. So it still makes me, it still challenges me. But if I see that they're not making pit stops when I need to make one, okay, I can make them burn a little bit more fuel. So we need to make pit stops around the same time, kind of thing. Because that's another thing that sometimes with their AI, although
mm.
they did fix it in like one of their early patches, the AI weren't taking pit breaks. It's like, how does their car have like
Oh,
unlimited
interesting.
fuel? And then they were like,
It's like,
we forgot to make sure that they are affected by fuel and tire wear. So they did the patch. And then it was like, I think the first day it was a little weird because they would pit before you and then pit after you kind of thing. So it's like, well, no, they're
mm,
a lap down. But they fixed it rather quickly. But like in the beginning, I'm like, I need to pit after doing this 20 lap race, and they don't. That doesn't seem
mm,
right, especially if I'm, drafting off of them. I should be saving fuel. If they're in the front, they should be burning more fuel. But that's some of the stuff I like with NASCAR because it's like the drivers are more tweakable and you can make them a little harder to beat or you can make them a
yeah.
little bit easier to beat depending on what you're looking for. And like right now in the super speedways, I want them as hard as possible to beat so I can see if I can get up to 100%. Because, like, right now I'm at 97. And I think when you
Ooh.
first start the game, it starts at 95. And they were leaving me at the restart. So it's like now I figured out how to get that down. Now it's like turn it up a notch. All right,
You're using the wheel,
96.
right? Or do you use your
Mhm.
controller? Okay, use the wheel.
Using the
Nice.
Logitech, I think it's the 29 on the Xbox. So,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah, I gotta get that. Specifically, I don't know. I just always wanted one. I want to try it with. I'm sure they have a better one for flight sim and like the actual like joystick. So I definitely would. I
I
would
think it's
literally
the
just buy one, just play that.
the Teak House or Teak, I forget which one it is. It's a Thrustmaster. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's the Thrustmaster is the better for flight sim. But as far as the wheel, there's actually a better wheel than what I have. I have the force feedback.
Hmm.
There's the direct drive. Although it's a bit pricier, like the force feedback, I think you can get for under 300. Like sometimes you might be able to find it for around 200.
Mm,
But the direct drive, I think, starts at 5 or 600. It used to
dang.
be 1,000 or like 900, but now it's like down to like five or 600, I believe.
Hmm.
But that one gives you a more real feel. The force feedback is fine. Like I've turned up the force feedback. I've put centering on so that way, when you come out of the turn, it doesn't like fishtail as much. But yeah, the force feedback is usable. but direct drive is better, but is it $300 to $400 better? That's a you decision for you to make. I haven't
Yeah.
upgraded yet. I will upgrade soon, but I think I want to get the Xbox Ally X before I do the upgrade. So
Yeah, I really
we'll see.
want the LAX. Does it have like vibration? Or
Yep.
it does? Okay. I'm like, it better hit. It's called force feedback. It better have some feedback.
Like and the
Okay.
cool thing on how they did the game, like when there's there's cracks in some of the tracks. So they pave it just like with the regular pavement, they'll have it where they put that sealer. And normally, like if you were to take your foot over it, you probably wouldn't feel it as much, but it's a little slicker than the rest of the track. So when your tires hit it, you can kind of feel the car like almost like not that it hit ice, but you can feel the car slip when you have the
Mm,
tires on it. So the force feedback that they have tuned for these things is pretty good. And then the brake pedal on mine has resistance to it, although some people don't like the resistance that are set up on the Logitech, but it
mm.
works out great where if you just, maybe tweak the dead spot on it a little bit, it works perfect. So
That's
it's a lot of
awesome.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely got to get one. Um, all right. Well, that is it for PXE shorts, y'all. Is this like occasionally if I can't stream on a Sunday, I'll hit up Fuzz and be like, hey, what's your schedule looking like? And that's what I was like, I might as well make like a little series out of it. But hey, I mean, we're almost at showtime. Usually our shows are about 2 hours, 20-ish minutes, 10 minutes sometimes. We're hitting like 1 hour and 40 minutes, so yeah, it's not too short. It's not too bad. So appreciate everyone for dropping on in. Poison, saying punch the like, subscribe, all that different stuff. I appreciate it, man. So let's get on out of here. Futz, I know this was a shorter one, but please tell people where they can find you, what you got going on in social media, my good friend.
Oh, as always, love doing this podcast with you. Great to, just chop it up as far as everything gaming and recent news and stuff. So always love doing this whenever we can. Um, For those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming, just do a search for Fuzzy Belvedere. You'll always be able to find me on social media, posting NASCAR clips more recently, but yeah, you'll find some of my footage out there. But thanks for everybody that came to watch our show. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out with us and just having a conversation about all the Rockstar inside scoop and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely appreciate everybody showing up today. And hey, 3-bit, let everybody know where they can find you as well.
Yeah, everyone can find me on the bluest of skies, I3bit. If you want to follow me on X, you can. I'm not really on there. There's a bot posting for me. Just saying. But Blue Sky is probably the best way to reach me. I'm on Discord a lot more actually. So Discord is another place you guys can reach me as well. I think it's also just I and then 3-bit, like the number three. So follow me on there as well. As always, appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on you guys' way out. If you guys agreed with us or not, let us know in the comment section down below on why. Lastly, trailer to Bad Heroes comes out Wednesday. Unless something crazy happens, the trailer is done. I'm just waiting on one last voice actor. Um, and I have shirts, you guys. I have shirts and everything. So definitely check it out. This is you'll know what this is when you watch the trailer. So you gotta plug the merch I just made. It's gonna be really fun. I can't wait to share that with you guys. Might do a live reaction when it's all out. But as always, this is the Pixelated Echoes PXE shorts. This is November 10th. I always try to say that for my audio listeners to say like what date is November 10th. So appreciate y'all, and I was signing off. I'm 3-bit. Have a good one, y'all.